Y'all are screwed. Look at that. Caitlin Clark is out 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Do you know how bad the WNBA ratings are going to be for the next 2 weeks? Nobody watches the WNBA at all if it's not for Caitlin Clark in the first place. Now that she is hurt, who in the world is going to watch these games? Who in the world is going to watch a WNBA game without the biggest star the sport has seen ever? Like, this is going to be hilarious the next couple of weeks when these ABC stations, TNT, ESPN, see how bad the ratings are when Caitlin Clark isn't playing. And then all the players are going to see, oh, wow, we actually need Caitlin Clark to play in these games for us to try to make money.
When one athlete is practically carrying the entire WNBA, like she's dragging a mattress up a spiral staircase, you know something major is happening. Caitlin Clark isn't just a standout player. She's the storyline, the headline, and the main event. Even the snack stands might as well be named after her. ESPN's practically doing cartwheels in her honor, and Fox Sports might as well change its name to Clark Sports. If TV networks had feelings, they'd be offering her lifetime hugs and unlimited pizza just for showing up.
75%. So if you didn't know, Caitlin Clark injured her hamstring and is out for the next 2 weeks, including 2 road games. One of those games being against the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese, where they have a very heated rivalry. Just 2 days ago, the cheapest ticket to get into the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever game was $86, and now it's down to $25. This is also against the same person who said the reason people come to watch the WNBA is because of her, talking about Angel Reese, but she cannot even keep the ticket prices up.
We're not just seeing big numbers, we're seeing wild, jaw-dropping numbers. The kind that make boardroom execs spill their coffee. The league probably thought these kinds of ratings went extinct with the dinosaurs. Fans who haven't watched women's basketball since Cheryl Swoops had her own shoe are now glued to the screen like it's a championship game.
Weeks also already rented out a bigger stadium because of how many people they were expecting to have show up to see Caitlin Clark play. And because the WNBA is only about 40 games, she is missing a huge chunk of time with being out 2 weeks in June.
It's like March Madness. It feels like March Madness has turned into a year-round subscription service, and Caitlin's the one running the cash register. But how is the WNBA responding to this rare momentum? Like she's just a vending machine, useful but easily replaced. Clark is bringing them gold, and they're treating it like she's passing. Out coupons for roller skating. Let us know in the comments. Do you think the WNBA is blowing this opportunity interview?
The WNBA's got a real ratings problem, okay? The ratings came out for the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark game. I saw some people actually trying to spin this as a positive, and I was like, they're light 235,000 viewers.
The WNBA's welcome for Clark felt more like a dusty yoga mat someone found at a garage sale. Instead of private flights, she's packed into tight airplane seats. Instead of star treatment, she's handed a brutal schedule that would make a coal miner think twice. If there's a guide on how not to support a once-in-a-generation talent, the league is following it to the letter. Meanwhile, Caitlin is out here playing like an MVP while dealing with cold shoulders, rough fouls, and body checks that belong in a wrestling ring. If Clark is the league's golden ticket, they're treating her like yesterday's leftovers. And now that she's injured, you can almost hear the WNBA's front office holding its breath, like someone just pulled the plug on their life support.
She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being 4th in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was really all said and done. We know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm, and they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had.
Let's be honest, Clark's injury wasn't just a team problem, it shook the entire league. The panic at WNBA headquarters probably registered on the Richter scale. One quad strain, and suddenly, the hype disappeared. Empty gyms, sleepy scoreboard operators, it all faded overnight. Without Caitlin Clark, the energy dropped faster than Angel Reese in a tight fourth quarter. Yeah, I said it. Clark was the
First team all WNBA selection. So far, she's averaging 19 points in the league, leading 9.3 assists through 4 games this season. I could give a damn about that last part. I don't care about her leading the league in assists. I don't care about the points that she's averaging because I already know that the young lady can ball. She is special. What I'm interested in is what somebody tweeted me and asked about earlier today that I want to show you right now. Put this tweet up, please, so our audience can see it here. At 4th Gen Bucci, B-U-C-C-I, right? Stephen A. Smith, can the WNBA keep itself afloat while CC, as in Caitlin Clark, is...
And reaction? Instant meltdown. Twitter turned into a group therapy session. Fans weren't just disappointed, they were furious. And can you blame them? This disaster was avoidable. You can't burn out a player like she's a temp worker on a double shift. 5 games in 8 days, getting beat up on court like a human piñata, and now the league acts shocked she's hurt? Please. Clark's been running the show like a one-woman Broadway act, held together by duct tape, while other players sit on the sidelines like understudies waiting for their cue.
She's now out for a minimum of 2 weeks before she gets reevaluated. So they might not see numbers like this for quite some time. This next Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game, June 7th, I believe, that's going to be on CBS as well. You think that's going to draw 2.7? I can assure you it won't. You think that's going to draw over 2 million? I can assure you that won't.
It's talk numbers. The viewership for Clark's games makes everything else on the schedule look invisible. When she plays, the arena buzzes. When she doesn't, it's crickets, and maybe a couple cardboard cutouts. The ratings drop off a cliff. Without her, it's as dull as a commercial break in church. If Caitlin Clark so much as sneezes, 3 TV networks prepare emergency coverage. That's what star power looks like. And how does the WNBA reward her? By throwing her into matchups against defenders built like linebackers and letting refs, who might as well be on Angel Reese's payroll, look the other way. Clark's taking fouls that would be felonies in most countries. Meanwhile, Reese is out here pretending she's the underdog while tossing cheap shots and calling it hustle. Angel, we see you. It's not passion, it's jealousy wearing a jersey.
We need her to play for us to get views, so maybe we should stop hurting her. Oh, maybe they'll finally see that they need Caitlin Clark. I mean, I can't believe we even have to discuss this, that she's even, I mean, if you don't think she's the biggest star in the sport, you're delusional. This girl carries not only her team, but her sport and her league. She carries the league, and you're going to find...
League didn't just overwork Clark. They drained every ounce out of her and forgot to protect her. She's logging huge minutes, facing triple teams, and dragging Indiana like a superhero with no sidekick, and now that she's hurt, the WNBA looks lost, like someone cut their Wi-Fi. So who's the new star? Let's be real. Reese's layups and mean mugging don't exactly scream Sports Center A block.
Stink without Caitlin Clark. It is rough. It has been a rough stretch. I thought that Indiana would split the 4 games that she was out if she was going to be out 4 games. I guess that's still on.
Clark's final game before her injury drew over 2 million viewers. That's blockbuster territory. Cancel your plans and grab popcorn. Now, the very games that should have ridden that wave are scrambling to attract enough attention to keep sponsors from disappearing. If you think Reese can fill that gap, think again. She's more comfortable striking a pose for photos than executing a pick and roll.
Clark were not in the WNBA, we would not be talking about the WNBA. She's the only ticket draw in the WNBA. A large percentage of all tickets sold in the WNBA are so people can watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. No one cares about Angel Reese. Should be drawing flies if she were playing not against Caitlin Clark on the court right now. Angel Reese has basically become the Bill Laimbeer to Caitlin Clark's Larry Bird, essentially. That is where we now are.
Makes it even more tragic is that this was predictable. WNBA. Executives had a generational superstar land in their lap, a marketing miracle, a ticket-selling engine, a crowd-roaring sensation. Instead of protecting her like a Fabergé egg, they treated her like just another player. Now they're staring at plummeting ratings and half-empty arenas asking, wait, what went wrong? You don't let Caitlin Clark endure nightly bullying and brutal fouls and then act surprised when everything comes crashing down. You don't allow dirty plays and flagrant hits from opponents eager for a highlight reel at her expense. And you definitely don't ignore her value until she's sidelined, leaving the league feeling unplugged from life support.
Tickets now, because I think Caitlin Clark is out for what? How many weeks is she out? She's rolled out for the June 7th game. That's when she was supposed to meet up with Angel Reese again. And Chicago Sky, and there's a massive drop in ticket sales.
Everyone knows it. Fans know it. Networks know it. Even Stephen A. Smith is preparing a monologue without Clark. The WNBA is becoming what it's tried to avoid for 20 years, an echo chamber. And the worst part? It didn't have to be this way. Look at the Indiana Fever. If you thought they didn't feel her absence the moment she sat out, you're sorely mistaken. Their most recent game against the Washington Mystics looked like a blindfolded squirrel trying to pilot a spaceship. Pure chaos, zero direction. The Fever collapsed, and you could almost smell the desperation. Players kept glancing to the bench, hoping Caitlin would magically appear in a superhero cape to save them. Spoiler alert, she didn't. Interview.
Stink without Caitlin Clark. It is rough. It has been a rough stretch. I thought that Indiana would split the 4 games that she was out if she was going to be out 4 games. I guess that's still on the table.
The Fever without Caitlin Clark? That's like pizza without cheese. Technically still pizza, but why bother? Their offense moves slower than a 90s dial-up modem trying to stream Netflix. The defense? About as present as a missing dad in a soap opera. And their shooting? Let's just say the basketball seemed allergic to the rim. The entire game felt like someone trying to power a Tesla with a potato battery. If anyone still questioned how much one player could impact a team, this game settled it. Complete
team in the league, and they still lost. You still lost. That was probably the best performance you're going to get in this stretch of games without Caitlin Clark down that stretch. I mean, they came back from down 15 points. They went on a 16-0 run.
To be fair, everyone out there was trying. The hustle was there, but let's not kid ourselves. There was a Clark-sized crater in that lineup. No amount of effort could cover it up. Caitlin is the magnet. She draws defenders, shifts the momentum, and brings that last-minute spark when all seems lost. Without her, it felt like the Fever were trying to patch a dam with chewing gum and duct tape. The belief just wasn't there. Instead of storming into the fourth quarter with confidence, they limped through it, repeating, "We got this," with all the conviction of someone begging for the final buzzer.
Task of watching the Indiana Fever play basketball without Caitlin Clark. There were a whole lot of things wrong with this game on the basketball side of things. Obviously, the Indiana Fever's interior defense was horrible. If you watched this game, you saw them give up, I think, over 50 points in the paint. Aaliyah Boston looked like a cone down there. It was literally horrible to watch. I haven't seen a team play that bad interior defense in a long time. They were not even trying. It's like Caitlin Clark wasn't playing out there, and they decided, you know what, since Caitlin Clark isn't playing, we're not even going to try. We know we're going to lose. It was horrible to watch. This is a game you could have won against the youngest team in the league.
Meanwhile, the Mystics could smell the weakness. They turned into sharks at a buffet. This wasn't just a game. It was a feeding frenzy. From the first whistle, they pushed the pace, found every soft spot, and ran circles around the Fever like it was a warm-up drill. Sure, the final score was 83-77, and on paper it looked close. But don't be fooled. That was window dressing. What actually unfolded was a tactical beatdown. The Mystics read every play like they had access to Indiana's group chat, while the Fever looked like freshmen guessing their way through a surprise quiz.
Rookies out there. This was a winnable game for the Indiana Fever. This team, mind you, with Caitlin Clark, literally lost by 2 to the New York Liberty, which is the championship team last year. And without Caitlin Clark, you look trash out there. And it's not even that they look trash. They are boring to watch.
This wasn't just a loss. It was a full-on reality check. The Fever were missing. Their anchor, their brain, their heart. They fought hard, but without Caitlin setting the tone, the Mystics took control with ease. That missing spark, her court vision, her pace, her leadership, was impossible to ignore. No one could fake that. Sometimes one missing gear causes the whole engine to fall apart, and in this case, that gear was sitting on the bench with an ice pack, while an entire league quietly prayed for a fast recover interview.
Down 12 points with 6 seconds to go, just called a timeout. She just called a timeout. This was a absolute embarrassment. An embarrassing performance from the Indiana Fever.
With Caitlin out, the entire WNBA feels frozen in a state of, Uh-oh, what have we done? Behind closed doors, you can bet the meetings sound something like, maybe we shouldn't have scheduled her like a touring rock star. Maybe, just maybe, we should have remembered she's a human being, not a highlight-generating machine. But hindsight's always 20/20, especially when your biggest star is limping. And here's the kicker. Even when she's not playing, Caitlin Clark is still dominating the headlines. She's the biggest name in the sport while others struggle to earn a single retweet. Social media is buzzing with injury prayers, followed by demands for accountability from the league. The hype hasn't vanished. It's just sitting courtside, icing a leg. Meanwhile, her rivals are trying to go viral on TikTok, barely nudging the algorithm. The league thought it could ride Caitlin's wave without respecting the tide, and now they're just a bunch of floaties stranded on dry land.
Indiana Fever lose to a young Washington Mystics team, 83-77. Look lost without Caitlin Clark.
This should be the biggest wake-up call in WNBA history. If the league's leadership doesn't realize they just watched their lifeline limp off the court, they're sleepwalking through a disaster. Caitlin isn't just a player. She's the player. She didn't ease into the league quietly. She crashed in with fireworks and fanfare. She made people care again. And now, the energy is fading. The viewership is tanking. And everyone's looking around, asking, wait, why is it so quiet in here?
Indiana Fever did not look good without Caitlin Clark. I guess that would be an understatement. Look, I mean, it's not that surprising to see the drop-off for the Fever without Clark. This Caitlin Clark effect, if you will. Because so often what's talked about is her impact on interest or economics. But all of that is based on her abilities as a basketball.
League was handed a once-in-a-generation gift, and they're managing it like a teenager with a brand new credit card. Reckless, clueless, and already deep in the red. So sure, keep pretending Caitlin Clark is just another player. Keep hyping team balance and shared spotlight, while arenas echo with silence, and ratings fall off a cliff. But here's a spoiler, you can't hide a lighthouse with a lampshade. And if Caitlin doesn't return soon, physically, mentally, or emotionally, you'll be left with gymnasiums so empty, you'll hear sneakers squeak like ghost whispers. And to all the haters screaming overrated like it's their full-time job, congrats. You're about to find out just how wrong you were. The second she stepped off the court, the lights dimmed, the fans checked out, and the magic vanished. She wasn't just part of the show, she was the show. Now the WNBA is running the same scenes, but the star's name is missing from the credits. It's still technically on air. But who's still watching? Caitlin Clark didn't just spark interest. In the WNBA, she gave it a heartbeat. And without her, the league is flatlining faster than a canceled sitcom. Let us know in the comments below. Do you think the WNBA deserves this train wreck? Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.